One Drink Away just sort of touched on, I guess, the biggest theme of my sobriety, or the thing that felt most true. And I had a conversation with this guy at a local smoke shop. I'm on nicotine is like the last thing I have. And so I'm on these little pouches. They're like kind of gross, but I'm like, you can have them. You can have them for as long as you want. And I was buying them, and I forget how we started talking about it, but I brought up sobriety, and he was like, oh, I'm 11 months sober. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And we started talking about it, and he said, I said, how is it? Like, how do you feel? 11 months is like incredible. You're about to hit like this huge milestone. He said, yeah, for me, the biggest decision I make every day still is when I drive home and I get off the freeway. I can turn left or I can turn right. And if I turn right, I'm going home. If I turn left, I'm not sure what's going to happen, because his the liquor store he used to go to is to the left. So I put that in the second verse, but that really I have goosebumps now. It just hit me how real that is. And for me, it's like when I get on an airplane and I'm all by myself. I love airplanes, and I'm a brat. So a lot of times I'm up in the front where they're carrying trays of various spirits to help you on your journey. And airplanes and hotels for me are still kind of at my best, it's totally fine. But, at my worst, it's a few layers of thought. It's a few little micro decisions that I make. It's like, you're getting on this airplane, everything's gonna be fine. You're gonna have a ginger ale with a little squirt of lime. You're gonna have your little nicotine, and you're gonna have a great flight. And then the hotels I always call, or if I'm traveling for work, my managers are so incredible, and they'll call and be like, clear every drop of alcohol from the room. Because I say otherwise the bottles start talking to me. But just that fear of knowing that I can't have another drink. That's not in the realm of possibility. And if I do, I have no idea at all what will happen. And they say it'll end in 3 ways, like death, institutions. Forget what the third is. I got to read my book. But for me, I just know that I will have then no control. Tito's will run my life and decide what I'll do. And I've done it enough times to accept that as fact. And so the song was really an interesting exploration of that for me. I went back into my therapist several times after we wrote that song, because I was like, I didn't know that I'm still scared to death, honestly. And she's like, that's not a bad thing to be. That it is scary. The reality is it is scary. And so I didn't want to shy away from that. And then the end of the song, it was important to me to sort of reflect on how, it sounds maybe silly to someone that doesn't know addiction or hasn't experienced that in themselves or someone close to them, but something as simple as I remember everything that happened last night, or I got home and I remember getting home and parking my car. I know I locked it. I know I locked my front door, and here's my little dog and he's fine. That, especially at the beginning of my sobriety, that felt like I won. I ran a marathon and I won. I'm like, oh my gosh, I went and saw a movie and I came home and I put my car in the garage. So it was important to me to have sort of a moment of, I describe that ending moment as if the clouds parted and the sun is beaming down, and you're just I'm in the middle of a field being thank God. One more day, I'm here and everything's okay.